Today I'm going to show you how to assemble one of these miniature catapult kits from Don't Eat Puzzles. Start by popping all of the pieces out of this frame. First we're going to make some ammo. That's these 5 small ball sections down here. You simply take the 2 halves of the ball and press them together to make a ball shape. Next, we're going to move on to the frame of the catapult. I'm going to start by taking this piece here and flipping it over. Then we're going to take these 2 shorter cross braces and they're going to sit inside the frame here and here. Finally, we're going to take the latching mechanism which sits in this rounded circle at the back. Next, we take the other side of the frame and sit it on top of there so that we have our 2 halves of our catapult, and stand that upright. We take this longer cross brace with the notch for the throwing arm, and that sits at the back here. We rotate this round and we take the other final cross brace and put it across the front there. That's the frame. And we take the throwing arm and we fit this circular hoop on the top. This is what holds the ammo in place while the arm is throwing. This should be nice and snug. I tend to press it down on a surface like this, which leaves the hoop slightly raised and tight in that frame. Next, we take the string and we fold it in half so that the ends meet here. And we want to tie a knot in the end. So I just loop this round and feed it back through itself. We want this end to be as short as possible, and we want the loop to be as large as possible. To thread the catapult, we take this loop of string, double it over, and double it over again. So we should have 4 strands of string on each side, which should be just about the same width as the throwing arm, as the catapult frame. We take one of these wedges and we hook the string through this notch until all 4 pieces are in that gap. And give it a little wiggle to make sure that they're all the same length. Then we take the throwing arm and we want 4 pieces of string to go through the top notch on this throwing arm. And we want the other 4 lower pieces to go through the bottom notch of this throwing arm. Finally, we take this other wedge and we hook it onto this side of the arm. So we should be able to hold it like this. We have our 2 wedges and our throwing arm in the middle. To mount it into the catapult frame, there are some notches on these holes. You should be able to work that string down into those notches. This knot can sometimes get in the way. So our catapult is ready for tightening and powering. You can see as I pull this tight, that throwing arm tries to stand upright. So we just twist both of these at the same time. We need to make sure that both sides are twisted the same amount. As you can see, as it tightens, the throwing arm stands upright. So before we tighten it to full power, we want to make sure that this is standing vertical and is aligned in the center of the skein there. At this point, I like to give it another twist to make sure it's up to complete power. You can see it clicks into place here, so you have to lift it up and over before we can twist it again. So now, when we pull the throwing arm down, it should latch into place here. We can put our piece of ammo into the hoop there and fire.